away from the pitch, Man City seem to be making some moves to secure the long-term futures of a number of first-team players, some highly rated youngsters, and established senior stars. It was confirmed last week that academy graduate Nico O'Reilly has penned a contract extension that will keep him at the Etihad until the summer of 2030. So that's seemingly ending rumours now of a move to clubs like Chelsea, who have been linked with him in the past.
Yeah.
O'Reilly's new deal comes not long after both Rico Lewis and Ruben Diaz committed their futures to the club by signing new long-term contracts. It's also emerged now that Savinho is close to signing a new 6-year contract, and this comes after he was strongly linked with the move to Tottenham in the summer. And Man City are also looking to hold contract talks with Phil Foden,
Yeah.
Rodri, Josko Gvardiol, and John Stones in the near future. So Stephen, just looking at this first of all from a general perspective, I guess, what do you think all this says about the club and their plans for the future? How pleased should Man City fans be that City are making moves to tie some of these first team stars down to long term deals? And do you think that how much of an impact do you think new sporting director Hugo Viana has had since his arrival?
Lot and latter we don't fully know yet, but I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he's bought a whole bunch of new players, and I can only presume some of these players would, probably sign a new contract anyway. But I do think there's, the age profile of the squad right now is so much younger. Excuse me. And I think when you see that, where we're going, and there's a trust in youth there, I think it only adds validation to what Bjorn probably was saying. Like, you are the future. We do see that. And because O'Reilly and Savinho can look around and see these young players getting chances that City have signed, Kusanov and Shirky and people like that, and go, well, yeah, they're telling the truth there. They're not just not signing entirely established stars. They are going to give us a chance. And Nico O'Reilly's massive, literally, and also it's great news as well because. You keep your own, and Nico O'Reilly has that intense love and connection to this club since he was a child, and that does matter to me. I do think winning with your team, your side, it does add more. Like if you're in a Champions League final and you're a City fan playing for City, it does add more to you because it's something you've dreamed of since you were a child. Might only be 0.5%, but that all adds up at the highest level. And once again, you tie Foden and Rodri, people like that down, and get Savinho after. Look, I think it's a good show of faith, by the way. So, like, if you're close to losing a play like that, and City go, no, we do really rate you, by the way, and you are going to get football, and here's a big fat juicy new contract at the same time. Like, it is focus. Here's your reward for a promising debut season, and you're staying here, but we're all together. Here's your reward for that, and here's an improved contract. Yeah, I think that it's a sort of smart decision for City because they didn't need to. He's only been here for a year, but I think I presume his wages is the highest. He came from Troyes, don't forget. It's not like he came from Girona. He came from the French club, so I can't imagine he was on the biggest wage. And I think he'll be more in line now with squad player Manchester City standards. I have no idea. I saw some speculation 40 grand a week. I think he'd be on slightly more than that personally. But I think after that he'll be on probably six figures. So I think he'll be happy at Savinho with it. I think he'll sign it as well. I don't think it really changes. If a player still wants to go, they can do if the right bid comes in. But I think it's smart to focus everyone. I think it's smart to show that we are investing in young talent, and I think Viana means it. I think he does want a big future for Savinho, and he does want a big future for Nico O'Reilly. And this City side, like they are creating new legacies right now. They're creating new identities, and people like Savinho, Nico O'Reilly, Kusanov, these guys are hopefully the next generation of players. That they'll take time, of course. They're not established as some players that we signed maybe 6, 7 years ago were, but they are clearly talented footballers. And I do think when you sort these things out, you're moving distractions, you're focusing everyone, and you're pulling them all together in the same direction. And yeah, I think it's a smart move, and particularly for people like Foden and O'Reilly and Rico Lewis, like these are City fans, and like I care about that, and I think the players care about that too. And you're locking them down, and when Haaland as well, one of your new captains, one of your leaders, signs a 9.5 year contract, whatever it was. That's an incredible statement of intent from Manchester City, and it's an incredible statement from Haaland as well. And I think others will look around and see that, and they'll commit their future too. And yeah, I think it's good news.
Yeah, and with the academy lads in particular, I think it's great news. Like as you mentioned there, it'd be great if City don't sort of fall into that trap of letting too many academy players leave. Of course, we've seen in the past, the likes of Cole Palmer, Morgan Rogers, Liam Delap, most recently James McAtee leave, and some of those have really blossomed at their new clubs. But it would be nice for City fans to have some of their own, establish themselves as first team players, and having I think it was six academy players start in that game against Huddersfield, and I think two more the Heskey brothers came on to make it eight players playing that match. That's great to see, a real achievement too for City. I'm sure the academy coaches will take a lot of pride from
100%.
that.
It
So
matters. It really
yeah,
does matter,
exactly.
that stuff. I think it does. I think it builds culture, is
Yeah,
that's the word I'm looking for. And I do believe, like people like Mikasa who played that game, I think he's next in line. I think his physicality, his technical ability. Look, you look around now, you've got James Trafford. I know he's an academy, we signed him back, but he's an academy player and who loves his club as well. He's in the squad as a regular. Rico, a regular, a squad player, but still, you play football this season. Rico Lewis, Nico O'Reilly, Phil Foden. Um, and Oscar Bob, and then of course Mikassa's going to play minutes, and there's six players there who played for our academy. Who is that right? Six, five or six, by the way.
the
Who
six that
who
started against Huddersfield, yeah, and then two
yeah, and
Heskey
then
brothers to make it eight that
but
came on.
they'll get regular minutes this season for Manchester City. Like that is a substantial amount. That's a quarter of your squad. Like that's an awful lot. And then bear in mind, there's going to be multiple who train with the first team regularly anyway because they are just part of the under 18s or the under 23 setup that are probably City fans. That matters. It absolutely does, and I think that's a really positive thing for City because, I remember the owner wanted a whole bunch of City fans and City local lads in the team. It takes a long time to do that, but we are slowly getting there.